morning. Welcome to lesson 8.5, angles of elevation and depression. We use this a lot in physics and, of course, in engineering. An angle of elevation, when we have an angle of elevation, we are going to first look out. Wow, this is not working. Try again. We are first going to look out and then look up. And that creates an angle of elevation at this point right here. An angle of depression goes down. So we're going to look out first and then down. So that creates this angle of depression right here, and that's 38. So when we look at this particular picture, we're looking at the angle 1. Angle 1 is right here. So we look out first and then down to the boat. So that's going to be an angle of depression. From the birds to the boat. Angle 2 is looking out first and then up to the birds. So that angle moved up, so that's an angle of elevation. And we will go from the boat to the birds. Finally, angle 3. Angle 4. Okay, so we're looking out from the sub and then up to the boat. So that's going to be an angle of elevation. From the sub to the boat. All right. Now, let's take a look at this. Oh gosh, we got another ladder. Okay, well, let's draw the picture. The thing that you have to do about this particular lesson, it's really important to get your picture right. Then you get it, then you put the numbers in and it's easier. So let's make sure that we get this correct. A 10-foot ladder is propped against a vertical wall. Okay, so here's the wall. Here is the ladder. And it says 10 feet. The distance from the foot of the ladder to the bottom of the wall is 6 feet. So this distance right here is 6 feet. And I know that the wall is a 90-degree angle. So what is the measure of the angle formed by the ladder with the ground? Okay, so the angle formed by the ladder with the ground. That's right here, right here. All right. So now as I look at that, I'm knowing that I'm going to have to do SOHCAHTOA. And I'm going to have to do the inverse of something. SOHCAHTOA. And then I've got the adjacent one and the hypotenuse. Okay. Hypotenuse and adjacent, that is going to be cosine. So we've got the cosine of x equals adjacent 6 over 10. So now we have to math. All right, so we look at this and we say, that means we have to do inverse. So the inverse of cosine So that will get us x equals something. So I'm going to type it in my calculator. The inverse of cosine of 6 divided by 10 equals 53.1. And that is degrees. Don't forget to mark that. Okay, so now we have another picture to draw, and this is Karen is standing atop the bluffs looking down at La Crosse. So I'm going to draw some bluffs. And Karen is up here. And she's looking down at the track. The track is over here. And she's, okay, angle of depression. You see that? Okay, so that means I need to look out and then down. And then I'm going to be able to make a right triangle right here. So now we have to figure out how tall the bluffs are. Okay, so the base of the bluffs is approximately 300. Well, what is this measurement here? 300 feet. Actually, I can take that line and put it up here. That becomes this measurement. So that's 300 feet here. And I have 32 degrees, and that's the angle of depression. That's this one. And so how tall the bluffs are? Well, actually, you look. This is going to be that measurement. Let's get it back where it belongs. Okay, so now I have a right triangle, and I want to figure out what this measurement is here. All right, so we have an angle of depression, 32, and we have to figure out that far side. SOHCAHTOA. All right, I see I've got an opposite side, and I've got an adjacent side, so that's going to be tangent. So the tangent of 32 equals opposite x over 300. So when we cross multiply, we get 300 times the tangent of 32 equals 300, equals x rather. So you do that typing in your calculator, and you end up with x equals 187.5. Okay, I took a little shortcut so that I wouldn't waste so much time drawing for you guys, but this is what it says in your problem. A person is standing 30 feet from a flagpole. That's this measurement right here. And they can see the top of the flagpole at a 35 degree angle of elevation. If the person's eye level is 5 feet from the ground, find out how tall this whole flagpole is. We want to know this whole thing. Actually, I don't want to put X there. We want to know the whole thing. All right, so I'm going to move some lines around here. I noticed that this 30 feet is the same as this 30 feet. I'm going to slide it up to the eyes. That means that this 5 is going to go right here. So what we need to find out is this much of the flagpole. The other thing that is in the story is that this person can see the top of the pole at a 35 degree angle. So 35 degrees goes here. All right, so to figure out that blue side, we're going to have to do SOHCAHTOA again. All right. So to figure out that blue side of the triangle, we have to, okay, that's going to be opposite. And the 30 feet is adjacent. Opposite and adjacent, so we're going to end up with tangent. So when we set it up, we say the tangent of 35 equals the opposite, which is x, over 30. Cross multiply, and we have 30 times the tangent of x, tangent of 35 equals x. So when we type that all into your calculator, you get x equals 21. That's not the answer. This x equals 21 is just this much of that flagpole. We have to add the rest of it. So 21 plus 5 equals 26, and that's feet. That's your answer. This one, the picture has been drawn for you, and I'm going to ask you to fill this one in, and it's just like the last one. Your person is 6 feet tall, and you're given the 20 feet here, and you're also given the 36 degrees of elevation. So you do this one on your own. Okay, now we're at the top of a lighthouse. A man is at the top of a lighthouse. Okay. Nice lighthouse, but here he is. Okay, and he's looking down at a boat in the water. He's looking down at that boat at an angle of depression of 37. Well, the height of the boat, the height of the lighthouse is 105 feet. This is 105. And he's looking out and down at an angle of depression of 37. Well, again, I'm going to take this line here and move it right over here to make myself a right triangle. So now, let's see. We've got the opposite side, but we want to find out the distance. This is how far it is. Because actually, this is the same distance. From the top or the bottom, it's the same distance. So we've got an adjacent and an opposite angle. So then again, it's going to be tangent. If you write SOHCAHTOA, it's going to be tangent. TOA is going to be opposite adjacent. So let's get this set up. The tangent of 37 equals the opposite over the adjacent. So now we have x times the tangent of 37 equals 105. So then we have to divide by the tangent of 37. And we end up with x equals 139.3 feet. Okay, last one. You sight a rock climber and a cliff at a 32 degree angle of elevation. The horizontal ground distance to the person is 1,000 feet. And now we want to find the line of sight. What's the line of sight? It's not that opposite side. It's going to be the line that you're looking at, that climber. So in order to figure this one out, we need SOHCAHTOA. we have the adjacent side, and the hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. So now when we set it up, it is the cosine of 32 equals 1,000 over x. Okay, so now it's going to be cross multiply. We get x times the cosine of 32 equals 1,000. And then we divide by the cosine of 32. And x equals type 1179.2 feet. Alrighty, that's it for today. See you tomorrow.